Hello, broadcasters. Welcome to episode 195 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. My name's Gage, and I'm here with Dan, of course. Dan, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. It's been a good week. Excited to be here with all of you. For anyone new here, Dan and I are the founders of StreamYard, and we do these town halls every single Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific, and we do them for a few reasons. One is to stay in tune with all of you, go through the same flow that y'all do with your own shows and productions. Two is to answer any of your questions. We love discussing your feedback and ideas. So feel free, anything you'd like us to touch on tonight, feel free to leave it in the chat, and we'll do our best to get to as many questions and comments as possible. And I always mention the three pillars of StreamYard, which are ease of use, stability, and professional stream. So if you're about those three things, StreamYard is the tool for you. See people from all over the world tonight. I think I saw Cairo, Egypt for the first time. Very cool. Nice to have you here, along with New Zealand. Before I forget, we have lots of great shows. Where's my show list? Here it is. We've got YouTube channel reviews with Dee and Daniel the second Saturday of the month. So we got one coming up soon. Really great show. If you're looking to grow on YouTube or get started on YouTube, both Dee and Daniel are pros when it comes to all things YouTube, whether it's growth or creating the actual videos. So they do really, it's actionable because they do specific reviews on individual channels. Things like, how should you be titling your videos? What should your thumbnail strategy be? How can you test those types of things? So really, really good show to check out if you're looking to grow on YouTube. We have Enhance Your Live Streams the last Tuesday of the month with Nick Nimmin. Nick is a pro when it comes to all things video. So if you're looking for specific live streaming tips, definitely check that one out. We also have some really great content recently from Think Media. So just stop by the YouTube channel to check that out as well. And one thing we've been doing for these is a fun fact. So you get to know a little bit more about us. We get to know a little bit more about you. And the one we had for tonight was most famous person you've met. Do you have who's the most famous person you've ever met, Dan?
Yeah, I don't really have a lot of people have the story of like, oh, I met an ex-president or something in an elevator, like that sort of thing. I don't have any of those. The only one I could actually, I've met a lot of business people. People usually wouldn't call them famous, but always interesting people. But then also, I would say the most typically, famous person is actually an athlete. And it was, I always forget her name. I think it was Cassie Sharp was her name. One of my friends is a very good skier. And so I used to go skiing with him quite a bit. And I remember, I think she ended up being a gold medalist in, I think it was a half pipe. Right? I want to say snowboarding half pipe. But he used to ski with her a lot. And then I would ski with them as well. And it was a whole bunch of just very strong skiers and snowboarders. But yeah, she was one of them.
Cool.
Yeah, not the typical actor type story. How about you?
I don't have very many exciting ones either. Tristan sounds like he's got someone good ones. He said he served the Queen. He met Gordon Ramsay and went to a party with Ed Sheeran.
All right, you got me beat there, Tristan.
The most famous person I've ever actually met is a generous word. He was at the hockey rink for some sort of charity event when I was young. Was Alice Cooper. So it was kind of cool to see him in person.
Cool, fair.
All right. And we had an announcement for tonight. So super excited about that. And that announcement, we talked a little bit about it last time. So if you caught it last time, you got a preview of it. But that is video trimming. So video trimming is in the process of being rolled out. Do you want to speak a little bit about what video trimming involves, Dan?
Cool. Yeah. And I also shot a quick video just to walk through it. But basically, a lot of times you'll do a stream on StreamYard or even just a recording. And then you want to take a smaller chunk of that and maybe repurpose it somewhere else. So that's the type of thing we want to get more involved with over time and add more features for it. But the simplest thing and what we've kind of started with is just trimming so that you can take a recording, you can cut a chunk of it, and then you can download it and do something else with it. And it's just super, super simple to use. So that's what's really nice about it. You don't have to upload the video somewhere else and trim it over there. So just to walk through this, I'm going to play a video, but maybe even to describe it first. It'll basically, I think we'll be releasing this tomorrow, by the way, tomorrow or the day after for everybody. And you'll go into your videos tab or into past broadcasts, and you'll be able to click on an individual recording. And then from there, there'll be a trim button. You can trim the recording. Again, super simple to do. So let's play this video here. There's no audio, so I'll just narrate this. So I was in the videos section. I clicked on a video. There's a trim button. I click that. And now I'm actually in the view where I can start to crop this video. So this is a pretty short video. I think it was about a minute long. And I'm just going to cut about a 10-second chunk here. You can, play through, watch what you're actually trimming, adjust it on the fly. You can use your arrow keys to kind of get a little more fine-grained within there. And then once you're actually done, you save it, give it a new name. And you could trim it multiple times. So if you wanted to trim a whole bunch of different clips, you could do that. Then all that'll do will just generate a new file. You can download that one. You can even trim that again if you wanted to. But nice, very simple way to trim and repurpose your content.
Awesome. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about video trimming or ideas on how you're going to use it, would love to know those. Let's see. I think we had a couple questions. We had one here from Dan says, well, you have the ability to pause the broadcast, also talk to a guest that is not recorded so the audience can't hear the producer's conversation. So the first one, so if you mean one thing that has come up a lot, Dan, is more recording functionality, which is absolutely being worked on and should be coming soon, which will involve pausing and restarting recordings. Specifically for broadcasts, I'd be curious to learn a little bit more about what you mean, because most of the streaming platforms, if you pause or stop sending information to them, the stream will actually end. So if you mean recording, let me know. If you mean something else involving the broadcast, I'd be curious to know what that is. And talking to guests so that the audience can't hear it. Like, so yeah, being able to talk to people behind the scenes. Do you have any thoughts on that one, Dan?
Yeah. Also, just quickly for the first one, if it is for a broadcast, one thing I would add is that you can just put up a screen of some sort. This is something you see on Twitch a lot, not as much on the other platforms, is putting up like a full screen image, muting everyone's mic, or just taking them off of the stream for 5 or 10 minutes if you just want to have some kind of intermission. But yeah, like Gage said, I'm guessing you're maybe talking about recording, and we are working on that. But talking to your guests, so it is something we are interested in, and we do have something for that on our business plan, but it might not be exactly what you're referring to. So I'd be curious just to learn more about it and exactly what the context is, like what you're basically trying to achieve. And specifically, do you want to be able to talk to somebody that is on screen, or you want to be able to talk to someone before they come on screen?
Cool. If you don't mind, let us know, Dan. Let's see here. Question from NLTMW, non-destructive to the original. Yes, it's essentially a new recording, right, Dan?
Yep, you got it.
Cool. Sounds like Mark's excited for it. Glad to hear that, Mark. That's awesome. Yeah, I think it'll be great for making teasers and promotional stuff. This is just the first version of trimming. We're planning on adding more cool features for it as well that should be helpful beyond just the trimming aspects.
Yeah, biggest thing is convenience, I would say, because if you wanted to do this in the past, you'd have to download it, upload it somewhere else, or have some kind of desktop tool, trim it there. Just a lot of extra steps.
Cool. Quite a few folks sound like they're excited for maybe using it for YouTube Shorts. Yeah, definitely agree. It could be a cool one for similar to the promotional stuff, making YouTube Shorts.
Yep,
that's awesome.
Yeah, YouTube Shorts, or even like a 5-minute YouTube video, for example, or a 5-minute Facebook video. But yeah, definitely good for Shorts.
Grillin says, how do you post the link above the chat? I couldn't find out how to do it. If you could give a little bit more detail, Grillin, if you mean like in the from the viewer side, like YouTube or Facebook, that varies from platform to platform, but I think several of them have essentially like a pinning feature where you can post a link and sort of pin it to the top. But if that's not what you mean, let us know.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of people will put it in the description as well. So if you have a YouTube description, Facebook description, that's where they'll put a link. So that usually works for most people.
Thanks, Nibaldo. I don't really speak Spanish, but I think I can gather from that that you're saying thanks for the good software. So that's awesome. Happy to hear that. Michael says you did an awesome job resolving the iOS 16 skewing issue. You hit a home run with how quickly it was updated. Thanks a million. Awesome, Michael. Happy to hear that. Anything else you want to comment on with that, Dan? I know it was only a brief. It didn't affect very many people, right? It was just like how portrait mode worked with changing the phone or something.
Yeah. So iOS 16 came out recently, and I find when iOS new versions come out, there's always some things that can be tricky to catch, and we always try to catch them in the beta environment or just as soon as we can. But sometimes things get through, and sometimes like things are changing. So there might be one bug, and iOS will fix it, but then there'll be a new one pop up. So yeah, this one was kind of weird. It's related to basically it was like squishing the video, but we found a way to work around that pretty quick. So thanks for anyone that actually reported that as well. Yeah, we're always trying to fix that stuff as fast as we possibly can.
Cool. I see quite a few other questions here. We have one from Tristan Trimming. Does this new clip count towards the storage? It does not, right, Dan?
Yeah, great question. No, it does not. I don't think so. Let me actually, if that's not the case, I will let you know next week. I think it might actually count towards storage, but Yeah. Sorry, I don't know the answer right now.
Sorry for misanswering. We probably want to structure it in such a way that it doesn't count towards.
I don't think it counts, but yeah, I will confirm.
We'll double check, Tristan.
Yeah.
Shadi says maybe you just dropped in, but we covered that briefly. Right now, there's not sort of any pausing with recording, but that is something that we're working on and are excited to release relatively soon. Doggy Trader says, could the trim be used to make recorded videos as opposed to just streaming? Yes, absolutely. But you can actually record videos now, Doggy Trader. So when you create a broadcast, there's an option to do record only, which is essentially just making a recording. And trimming works the same for both those recordings and live streams. Both produce a video at the end, and you can use the trimming feature to make essentially a new recorded video. So hopefully that answers the question.
Yep.
Terry says, can I add music as a filler for the podcast? Yeah, so not so long ago, we added the background music feature, Terry, so that you have the option to use our own built-in tracks or actually upload your own. So hopefully that's useful.
And Dana just confirmed in the chat as well, it does not count towards your storage.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Dana. Andrew says, I was hesitant about the new way that Facebook creates an event whenever you schedule a StreamYard, but I'm now loving it. That's awesome to hear. I'm getting much more viewership streaming into groups now. Thank you. That's awesome, Andrew. That was also a topic we wanted to briefly, we talked about it last week, but in case anyone missed it, do you want to talk a little bit about what that change is, Dan, the live online events for Facebook?
For sure. Yeah. So first of all, just at the bottom here where it says LOE, I know it's kind of if you've never seen that, it might be like, what on earth is that? So live online events is what Facebook has been calling this feature, hence LOE. Now it's basically a change to how scheduling works on Facebook. So in the past, and like Gage said, I mentioned this last week, but if you weren't here last week, in the past, scheduling used to work where it would create basically a post. And then when you went live, there would kind of be a separate video, and those weren't really tied together, which was kind of annoying because if you sent out the link to your Facebook post before the stream, that wasn't the same as the video. So the viewers wouldn't like the page wouldn't automatically update for the viewers or anything. So they might just be sitting there on the post waiting for it to go live. And actually they had to refresh the page in order for it to go live. But now there's this concept called live online events where it's basically one link. You can schedule the Facebook broadcast. You send that to your viewers. They go there. You can add a whole bunch of extra data. It's kind of like a separate page or an event instead of just being a single post, although it is also posted to your page. And then when you go live, that page will automatically update. And then as part of that, they've also removed a bunch of restrictions. So for example, you used to only be able to schedule a broadcast 7 days in advance. Now you can schedule it up to, well, we have it set as a year in advance. So a lot more flexibility there. And then there's some other things like Facebook used to delete your broadcast if you went live too late, which they've got rid of that as well. And yeah, it presented differently. Kind of what Andrew was saying there. It's like it shows up differently. It's posted differently. Like it feels a bit different. So, Andrew, in your case, it's great to hear that you're actually getting more views from that too. I know like Facebook has wanted to have something like this for a while, and it's nice to finally have it out. And I think it's something that they want to promote quite a bit. So yeah, excited to see how it does. There is a few things we're hoping they can improve. And one thing, for example, is right now you cannot update titles or descriptions or anything for groups, but that's just a bug they're working on. And then there's a few other things we're hoping they can improve as well. But I think kind of long-term is going to be a much better solution.
Awesome. We have quite a few more questions here. We'll get through a few of these. And then we also, I forgot to mention at the beginning, have a special guest tonight from the design team, Patrick, who will be joining us in a couple minutes here, which will be fun. Talking with topics with Tyler says, does the LOE need to be public or can it be set to private?
So I believe there's two settings. I believe there's public and depends where you're streaming to. So if you're streaming to a page, I believe it's always public, although I could be wrong on that.
I think
profiles can be public or private, and I know you can't change it. And this is like you can't change it through StreamYard. You also can't change it through Facebook. You have to delete it and do another one. I'm hoping that's something they're going to change. But yeah, so it's a little tricky right now. I believe though for a page it's public. For a group, I believe it is whatever kind of the setting for the group is. Yeah, and then profile can be public or private, but you can't change it.
Cool. Conwell says, but if you broadcast on Facebook and YouTube, the event does not go live when we go live on StreamYard. If you mean StreamYard itself doesn't have a live feed, Conwell, that's right. The stream right now, StreamYard is just like sort of a tool that sends the stream to Facebook and YouTube. But if that's not what you're asking, let us know. Marianne says, will you be able to split the video too? So not in the first version, Marianne, but I believe that's something that's also being worked on, right, Dan?
Yep. Yeah, that's something we're looking into. And if you guys have any feature requests for things you'd love to see, definitely let us know. But yeah, splitting, I imagine, will come up quite a bit. So that's something we'll be looking into.
Pixel PS says, maybe a silly question, but is there a way to download assets I've uploaded? I lost an overlay I want to reuse. So we don't have an easy way to do it, Pixel Pia, but if you mean that it's still on StreamYard and you just don't have like the hard copy on your computer, you technically can download it from StreamYard. Support probably can help you out with that. It's kind of involved. You basically have to right-click, inspect the page, and I won't go into the whole process. It's not as hard as it sounds, but you can
Yeah,
do
you
it.
have to go the link essentially and then download it from there.
Yeah, but if you go to streamyard.com/contact, they can help you out with that. And let's do one more here and then bring on Patrick. Visual stenographer says, will you be able to update slides such that folks don't lose the animation in the presentation? So right now, slides are sort of converted to a PDF, so everything's kind of static, like you mentioned, Visual. We're hopeful that we'll be able to change that in the future. So stay tuned. I don't have any updates as of today, but we'd certainly like to support it. Any other thoughts on that one, Dan?
No, I agree. I would love to be able to support it, but right now we can't.
All right. And with that, let's go ahead and bring on Patrick from the design team. Hey, Patrick, how are you doing tonight?
Hey guys, all good, all good. How about you?
Great to have you on here. And I know it's pretty late for you, so thanks for joining so late. Hopefully you're not getting too tired.
Not at all, not at all.
Cool. So Patrick, we have, and for anyone who's never seen this segment, we always, when we bring on some team members from StreamYard, we'll ask them a set of questions just so you guys get a chance to know them. And then also, if you have any questions for Patrick, feel free to ask away in the comments. So Patrick, first question for you. Can you tell us a bit about yourself and what you do at StreamYard?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm one of the designers on the team, and I'm actually looking at the experience. So everything that you use within StreamYard, obviously not only me, but like what I do is trying to make sure the experience is as good as possible and as intuitive as possible as well.
Cool. And Patrick's actually working on a project that we haven't announced at all yet, so we won't tell you exactly what area he works on, but it's a fun project. Yep. And where are you located, Patrick?
Across the pond in London, so a bit further away from you guys.
Cool. A little bit, yeah. And how long have you been at StreamYard now?
With the StreamYard team for 2 months. But yeah, we've had like encounters with the other parts of the team as well previously.
Yeah. And how long have you been at Hopin in total?
Oh, over a year, I think probably a year and 2 months, something like that.
Cool. And what's your favorite StreamYard feature?
For me, to be completely fair, I think it's the comments, you know, like being able to show up the comments. It's like super engaging. Also, if you're not looking at the comments or you kind of like, yeah, if you're not looking, like being able to see that on screen, it's awesome to actually see like what people are saying.
Cool, fair enough. And then what did you want to be when you were younger?
I wanted to be a car designer. some crash dreams here, but yeah, I mean, I started off as kind of like design. I liked painting and all that stuff. Did some photography as well, but
cool.
Ended up not being a kind of car designer.
And sorry, car designer?
Car designer, yeah.
Was there a specific company you wanted to work for? Like really fancy cars, kind of more?
I mean,
for everybody.
Probably not Lada, right, or anything like that. No, not really. Nothing in specific. Just want to make cars.
Cool, interesting. And then how did you end up becoming, a designer but a non-car designer?
Yeah. Well, yeah. As I said, like it was, I was fiddling a lot with like 3D tools when I was a kid. I mean, a kid, more of a teenager when I was 16. Yeah. And yeah, I was like, I mean, the plan was like, can I do like 3D models of cars and all of that, which I did. But then I kind of like slowly transitioned into like all the other things, like, while creating different things for the 3D models, I also had to kind of use all the other tools. And I mean, getting into kind of graphic design and design was slightly easier. Plus, I loved computers, so.
Cool. I actually think it's interesting that you're like the whole time is always design, though. A lot of people, it's like, I want to do this, and then ended up doing like this other thing that is completely drastically different. Yours was more of like a minor
Yeah, it was
shift.
a minor turn. Fortunately, I wasn't into space and anything like that.
Yeah. And then what's your favorite thing about working at StreamYard?
I mean, probably it's gonna sound cheesy, but the team, I think, like people are always important. And it's also like the quality of the people, like it's inspiring to work with people as everyone within StreamYard.
Cool. Awesome. How would you answer our fun fact question? You ever met any famous people? Or you like Gage and I?
So a friend of mine said like we've passed by George Clooney, but I don't buy that. The only person that I've been close to was Russell Brand, if anyone knows who he is.
Yep. Yeah, cool. The comedian, right? Or that's kind of comedian, actor. Cool. That's funny with George Clooney, though. If you don't remember it, maybe it didn't happen.
I mean, the problem is like each time I pass by anyone, like someone would say, "Oh, like did you see that person?" I'm like, "No, like they're just like just normal people to me." So someone really has to like point it out to me. I'm just blind.
That's fair. Do you have a favorite karaoke song?
I mean, not really, but like "Africa" by Toto is a fun song.
Classic.
Cool. And then do you have a favorite board game?
That would be Catan. Like I always destroy everyone on it. So that's definitely it.
The best board game is the one where you destroy. That's
exactly.
I've never
the
actually
one that you can always beat everyone on it.
Awesome. That's fun. Cool. Awesome. Thanks, Patrick. And then if anyone else has any questions, feel free to ask away.
Cool. I think we did have a couple here. One from Pixelpia says, "So Patrick, are you the guy that can make it possible for us to choose layouts for PIP? If so, we'd love to see it happen."
That's not
Patrick
really.
might be involved in designing it, but yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Patrick.
I was going to say.
Yeah, we'll try. We'll sort it out sooner or later. It's gonna happen.
Cool. Let's see what else here. Tom says, "Do y'all read the chat?" Yes, absolutely. Arcade says, "Is it possible to pop out the chat on a new browser window? I'd like to full screen a chat box on a vertical monitor." We don't have that right now, Arcade, but that's certainly something that's come up many times in the past that we're keen on adding. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll do it as a pop-out or some other way, but we definitely get wanting to see the chat and other things at the same time.
Woodward, similar request. Sebastian says, "LinkedIn does not allow editing an event/broadcast. Any possible solution for that?" Sorry, I didn't put a question before. So unfortunately, we are sort of tied by what LinkedIn allows us to do over the API, Sebastian. We do work closely with them, so we're hopeful that at some point they will add that functionality. But until then, unfortunately, you kind of just have to delete and remake them, right, Dan?
I believe you can edit LinkedIn on the platform itself.
Oh, my mistake.
Yeah. I think LinkedIn is one of those platforms where it just doesn't let us do that through the API. But if you go to LinkedIn, I think you can edit it. That said, you want to be a little bit careful because if you're editing like the title or something on LinkedIn itself, that's okay. It's when you edit the start time and you're multi-streaming to other places that it can potentially cause problems, especially like with something like LinkedIn where there are some rules for when you can go live. So if you change the start time on LinkedIn, you don't change it for the other platforms or on StreamYard, it can be a little weird. But if you're just changing the title or description, I believe you should be able to do that without any issues on LinkedIn. But yeah, if you can, the easiest approach is just delete it and create another one.
Cool. Question from G23. Is the video trimming / editing going to be available for the free version as well?
Good question. So right now we don't have recording on the free version. So in that sense, the trimming is not very useful. That said, if we did ever have recording, at that point, we'll kind of figure out whether it should be on there. I would guess it will be. But yeah, right now, all we have on the free plan is a free trial of recording when you first sign up for the first 7 days. And I think, for those recordings, you actually will be able to use it. But after that, you don't have recording, so it won't be as useful for now.
Cool. Let's see what else we had here. Dice Grinder says, can you add a feature to remove copyright audio from the recording or background sounds? I think that's a really cool idea, Dice Grinders. It's certainly something that I think would make for a great feature. It is pretty complicated to add, but I think we should. It is something we'd like to work on at some point. Any other thoughts on that, Dan?
No, that's cool. Yeah, background sounds would be easier. Copyright is a little tricky because copyright is a bit different on every platform. So our algorithm might not perfectly match Facebook's or YouTube's. And if we did that and then you upload it to one of those platforms, you might still get taken down.
Yeah.
But I imagine we could probably get it pretty close.
Absolutely. Do you want to go ahead and queue up the giveaway, Dan, while I do a few more questions here?
You bet I do.
Another one from Dice. Can you add the feature to resize and move guest cameras around for custom layouts? So yeah, Dice, that is one thing we've talked about over the last few town halls is deeper customization. We want to make sure that everything is still really simple, but we are working through ways to add deeper customization for folks that are interested in that. So stay tuned on that. So for anyone who, sorry, go ahead, Dan.
I was just saying, same thing to you. Go ahead.
Cool. So for anyone who hasn't been to one of these before, we always do a giveaway towards the end. And to be eligible to win, all you have to do is type in hashtag the yard into the chat. And tonight we'll go ahead and give away a StreamYard sweater and the StreamYard plush duck for tonight. So we'll give you 30. Oh, there you go. There's the duck. We'll give you 20 or 30 seconds or so to get in your hashtag the yards. And if you're ever interested in doing a giveaway like this yourself, we actually have this tool publicly available. So you can screen share like we're doing now to do your own giveaway if you just go to StreamYard.com/giveaway.
Cool.
So give it a few seconds here. There's another one here from Ministerio says, any update on when we can transition from video to video without showing the background? So the best alternative to that, Ministerio, is which maybe you already do, is just making a longer video. Obviously, that's one way to avoid it, rather than sort of like queuing them up. Other than that, do you have any other thoughts on that one, Dan?
I know we'd worked on fixing that one, so I'd be curious if maybe it's only fixed on certain devices or something. But I'm guessing you mean like you play a video clip, then you play another one, and you see the background in between. Actually, also one thing, are you referring to the video clips in the brand section, or are you referring to when you share a video at the bottom of the page? If you could maybe let us know, because I think the video clips in the brand section shouldn't have that problem anymore. Although, again, maybe on certain devices it's not working properly. Kind of depends on like how fast your device can load those video files. Yeah, it's something we're always trying to improve things like that.
Cool. Should we go ahead and do the giveaway, Dan?
You betcha. For a sweater and the plush duck. Good luck, everyone.
Crazy World, congrats. Thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight. If you could shoot an email to contact@streamyard.com, Danny can work with you on getting your size and shipping everything over. And Ministerio did quickly say the video on the brand section. So thanks for that, Ministerio. Any other additional thoughts on that, Dan?
Yeah, I'll look into that because I believe that should be fixed.
All right. And with that, this was episode 195 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. Thank you, Patrick, for joining us tonight. And we'll see all of you next week at the same time.
Awesome. See you next week, everyone.